How's Higuruma's domain expansion treating you, my friends? I know most of you are probably just popping it and randomly clicking the buttons just to speedrun to the Awakening moveset. Trust me, I did the exact same thing when the update first dropped. But here's the thing, this isn't your typical domain expansion like Hikari's. There's actually a lot more depth to it that you might not know yet. By the end of this video, you'll either become the top defense attorney in your region, or dodge the judgment's verdict like a pro. Plus, if you don't have early access to JJS, don't worry. I'll show you how you can try out Higuruma's Awakening moveset for free. Deadly sentencing isn't just about grabbing someone and dragging them into a courtroom. Well, yeah, that part matters too. Because if you fail to bring someone into your domain, the domain will instantly shatter, and you'll only get back 80% of your Awakening bar. So make sure to trap at least one opponent to activate the full effect of the domain and let it work its magic. Once you've successfully trapped someone, the trial begins, just between you and your target. And since it's a courtroom, violence is off the table. Your M1s and moves won't deal damage during the trial. Now here's something cool. If your opponent is in Awakening mode and gets caught in the domain, their Awakening bar will pause during deadly sentencing. That way the game stays balanced, and you won't lose out on your Awakening moves once Higuruma's domain ends. Also, quick tip. If you change your mind and don't want to go through with the trial, you can press G again to cancel the domain. You'll get 40% of your Awakening bar refunded. But be careful, make sure you're fully committed before using your domain expansion. Alright, so you know these buttons above the Awakening bar and this bar with 3 sections at the top of your screen? Yeah, we're all good on that. Now, for this video, I'm going to call this 3-section bar as accusation level, since it sits right below the name of the accusation. Here's how it works. The first bar on the left is level 1, the middle bar is level 2, and the third bar on the right is level 3. These accusation levels play a huge role when it comes to delivering the verdict to the accused, and I'll break down exactly how that works in just a bit. Not everyone knows this, but Higuruma's domain is basically the arraignment phase, like in real court. This is where the accused is informed of the charges and has to enter a plea, guilty or confess. Not guilty means denial. Remain silent, which means the judge in real court enters not guilty in behalf of the accused. Though sadly, no contest isn't in deadly sentencing yet. Probably not in TZ's plan to add it. Now when the trial starts, both the domain owner and the accused can enter a plea. If no one presses anything, the domain just stays idle up to 2 minutes. Whoever presses first triggers a 3-second timer on their screen only. If the other player doesn't respond in time, judgment picks a random plea for them. And yes, this works the same with multiple accused. Whoever pleads first represents the whole group. Now here's something interesting. Entering a plea can actually happen multiple times, one after another. But that depends on several things, like the domain's time threshold and, most importantly, the accusation level. And that's where things start to get techie, my friends. If the bar is completely empty when the domain ends, Higuruma gets nothing. No Awakening moveset, no Executioner's sword. That's a total fail. Now, if only one section is filled, each opponent loses 2 random moves for 2 minutes. But don't celebrate yet. Higuruma still gets no Awakening. He stays at base moves. Now, if 2 bars are filled, this is where it gets tricky. Higuruma finally gets his Awakening moves and sword, but the opponents don't lose anything. This is the fair accusation level. And if there is a chance to end the deadly sentencing at level 2 accusation at no time, I recommend this level to plead guilty. You'll keep all your moves and just fight Higuruma in awakened form. It's a fair trade, especially if the first bar is already filled and you're trying to avoid losing moves. Now, if you're stubborn and let it go all the way to 3 bars filled, that's the level 3 verdict. You lose 1 random move and Higuruma still gets fully awakened. Yeah. It's kind of like combining both level 1 and level 2 in the worst way possible. All right, my friends, that's everything I've figured out so far about the mechanics behind deadly sentencing. Now let's talk about the free experience of using Higuruma's Awakening moveset. Yup, you heard me right, free. I'll show you exactly how I did it on screen. So don't skip a step, all right? Follow along carefully so you don't miss anything.